Hello. In this module we're going to talk about the onboard meeting agenda. I'll be reading from a copy that you have, that you'll get in your FedEx package, and this is what you'll go through with the senior officers on board. And it's addressed to the captain, the staff captain, hotel director, director of service, chief engineer and staff chief engineer. Let me just give you a little background there first. We need to understand that we only really need to deal with the hotel director or his appointee or her appointee. That's really all we need. But the way the politics goes, if we're going to have a meeting with the hotel director, then we have to have the captain. And if we invite the hotel director and the captain, then we have to invite the chief engineer, because there's three main departments on the ship. Deck, which is the captain, chief engineer, which is the engine department, and hotel director, which is the hotel department. Now, because the hotel director may not be the most useful person for this meeting, we need their assistant who's closer to the hands-on running of the day-to-day operations. And the assistant to the hotel director is the director of services. He's in charge of all the services in the hotel: food, beverage, bar, and housekeeping. So now the hotel director can have his or her second, then the captain has to invite his second in command, which is the staff captain. And the chief engineer has to invite his second in command, which is the staff chief engineer. So there you have the politics. You may find them all there, you may find only one of them there, you may find any combination of the above. You just have a meeting with whoever's there. It's not important that they all be there, it is important that we invite them. First thing on the agenda is that we have to schedule 6 classes. Each class is 10 hours. Each class of 10 hours is delivered in 4 2.5-hour sessions over 4 days, 2.5 hours a day. And in that 4-day block, we can deliver 3 10-hour classes. Usually one in the morning, one in the middle of the day, and one in the later afternoon. They will ask you to change on that, but it's up to you and your flexibility. If you're crossing the ocean and you have 16 days on board, sailing from Brazil to Italy, you may want to do 2 courses a day and train for 12 days so you're not so bored. If you're on an 11-day cruise, you're going to have to fit it into 2 4-day sessions. Item number 2 is refreshment breaks. At Johnson & Wales, in this department, we insist in any training we do that we have refreshment breaks set up for them. So that needs to be completely set up 15 minutes before the class starts. That gets and encourages people to come early, so in the breakfast time they can pick up a pastry and grab a coffee there, which is going to invite them to the training, rather than go to the cafeteria and get something last minute. In the afternoon classes, they have a refreshment. They can get a cup of tea, an orange juice or water, and a coffee or whatever they decide to put out. And if they put out breakfast pastries in the afternoon, you may want to talk to them about that, talk to the person in charge of housekeeping or food and beverage, and say, look, maybe sandwiches or cookies can go better in the afternoon. It's up to you, you're in charge, it's your ship, but do you really want to serve the leftover pastries from the breakfast? So I'll let you play that one. But we do insist on a break. Item number 3 is that the technician should have the projector and screen set up completely half an hour before. In fact, what do I have here? I have 15 minutes before. So he needs to be there about half an hour before the first class. Depending on your situation, if they break the class down, he'll need to be there and set up 15 minutes before each class. So 15 minutes before the class starts, everything should be ready so you can concentrate on greeting the students. A plan for at least one motivating graduation ceremony after the first session. We award those certificates I'd spoken about that you receive in your package, and we want them to have one graduation, at least one, sometimes they do 2, and you get the hotel director and the captain. You're going to have to take the lead on this. On some ships they're fabulous, on some ships they're really not so fabulous and need a lot of help, and we rely on you. Call out the names. They usually put out some refreshments for everybody, and if they are doing their Best Colleague Award, which is a recognition award they do once a month, and you can tie it in with that, that's great. I usually have one of them read out the certificates because I butcher those foreign names. It's up to you. And we do ask that they have a photographer present, they have a photography department on board, there should at least be one class picture that should be sent to Genoa, and I would like you to collect one printed copy and send that back to the office so we have a printed copy of you with your class. We put those up in the office and we show those around. The hotel secretary will enter the class roster onto the electronic grade sheets, but we'll talk more about that in the attendance video clip. And also there's sign-in sheets and who they have to be sent to. We do let them know in the agenda that you have to report after your initial meeting how many students are in class, and you also have to report at the end of the first day and the end of the first session. So we're kind of doing that to support you, so we know what's going on and we can help facilitate any needs that may arise. And we don't want you to be like the scapegoat or the bad guy or ratting out on them or anything like that. So let them know up front, that's why it's in the agenda. Hey, by the way, just so you know, I don't have a choice. I have to report the numbers and I have to make a report at the end of day one, at the end of this meeting, and at the end of the first session. All participants must take the exam to get credit for the course. And that's pretty much it. So that's the review of the agenda, and you'll get a copy of that in your FedEx package.